welcome everybody. I'm very happy to have on the line today Mr. Peter Fury. How are you, my friend?
I'm all right, Adam. Good to speak to you.
You too, mate. You too, mate. Well, last week, finally got the news you were waiting for. There's been a date set for Dusseldorf in October for Tyson to fight Wladimir Klitschko. You must be really excited.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and very happy it's finally here. So just getting on with the job in hand now, and look forward to no hiccups and getting the fight on.
Excellent, mate. Brilliant. Well, so the fight's in Germany. I know I've heard from yourself and other interviews you've done. I know you guys are the kind of people who will fight anywhere. A lot of people are talking about German refs and judges and things like that. Does that worry you in any way, shape, or form?
Referees are capable of doing anything. It just depends. But the referee's not going to. It's not going to implode any magnificent detail with this fight, unless the referee wants to outright cheat. Yeah. And that's another matter, but I don't see it being relevant in this situation.
Well, yeah, it's funny you say that, actually, because I spoke to Jonathan Banks, the trainer of Klitschko, the other day, and he said this is going to be one of the most exciting heavyweight fights we've ever seen. Is that something you concur with?
Yeah, I think, for either man to beat the other one, he's got to impose himself. There's going to have to be a lot of punches thrown, and, it will be a war in there.
Yeah, and what sort of that brings me on to, you kind of half answered it a little bit anyway, but what sort of, we've seen a couple of different types of Klitschko in his last two fights. When we saw him fight Pulev, he really put his foot on the gas and destroyed Pulev. Bryant Jennings, he seemed to take his time a little bit more in there. What do you think you're going to get when you fight him?
I think he, it's hard to say. He'll study Tyson like we'll study him, and everybody will have a game plan. So, he's a very experienced man, and he will be looking at every scenario, and he'll choose the best route. Yeah. There's a number of options Wladimir can take. He can look at Tyson as a slow starter, catch him early, and charge in and try and land the big bomb. Yeah. So anything, it's an open book, whatever he's going to do, really.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Well, it's sort of you've got this fight coming up in Dusseldorf. Like, what's happened now since the fight's been planned? Were is it? Do you kind of have everything kind of penciled in anyway when you got a big fight, coming around the corner, or was it a little bit? Is it a little bit take it as it comes and arrange sparring and things like that? Just trying to get a bit of an idea of the kind of camp you guys get. A world heavyweight title fight. What sort of goes behind that?
Well, there's a lot goes behind it. Tyson's been training now for 3 weeks. Yeah. He dropped over 35 pounds in body weight. Huh. He's well on with his training and conditioning at the moment. Pad work and all this, and strategies will be planned out all the way through August. Yeah. He'll then put all that into motion 1st of September, sparring right up until probably 10 days before the fight. Okay. So are you guys, I don't know, because I know you spent some time in France, and you've obviously got your base in Bolton. Where are you guys training at the moment? I'm where I live. I'm in the south of France at the moment, and we're doing the camp out here for, more so my son, really, because he fights on the 25th of this month. Yeah. So basically, Tyson's out here. He's getting his weight down, and we're just working on his conditioning and his fitness at the moment.
Yeah, it must be because we don't hear as much from Tyson as we used to in social media and things like that. It's a bit of an indication to me that this is business time, if you know what I mean. And I've heard interviews with yourself. Well,
it is business time, and I don't see Tyson getting another shot. This is his time. Losing, failure is not an option. He's got to come past Wladimir, and that's end of. And that's what we're looking at, and that's what we're training to do. Tyson, he's happy to be scraped up off the canvas to get this fight won. Yeah. So that's how much it means. He's going in there not to take second best, not to about referee, not about daft judges, not about Germany getting a poor decision.
Yeah.
You know, Tyson said the right thing the other day, and I stand by it. Rather than see a points loss, rather see him knocked out, I'd rather see him go on his back, fighting like a lion, rather than just take a points loss or get robbed of a daft points decision. That's not going to happen. It's either him or Tyson. One of them's getting laid out. Simple.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, I can't wait, and a lot of people are very excited. I think I run a show, a weekly show, and the guest I had on, Jay, he described it as the heavyweight division's alive again. Is that something you think of?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think it is. You know, there's a lot of people that doesn't fight each other. You know, it doesn't need to be like that. You know, get them have a fight, isn't it? You know, let them fight. But I think they are doing now. I think Bryce is fighting Taper. That's a good fight. That's a risky fight.
Yeah.
I think that fight's only happened because the promoter's got both fighters. But that's a risky fight for Price to come through, so shit a bus for him.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Joshua coming up with Dillian White.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
That's not one-way traffic for either man, so that's going to be an intriguing fight.
Yeah,
Dillian's a good fighter.
Yeah. Well, he's worked quite closely with you guys before, I'm aware. Is that right, Dillian White?
He has Dillian. Yeah, he's got a very good jab. He's tough as boots, and he can punch. He's got good. He's come on a lot recently as well. So I think if he gets a couple of fights in, then he's more than ready. I think it's a good fight between them two. They've got old rivalries as well from the amateur days, so that's a good fight. So yeah, it is. It's catching on. So at least the fighters now fighting each other, you know. So it's all good.
Yeah, it's much better for the division. Much better. Well, moving away from Tyson, let's talk Hughie. I see an opponent's been announced. The very experienced George Arias is fighting him in Derby in a couple of weeks. You've been waiting a long time for that to get an opponent name. I know you've been working very hard at getting that sorted. It almost looked at one point that yourselves and certain other UK heavyweights looked like you were kind of chasing the same fighter to get an opponent. Is that something?
Well, I don't know. You know, we've offered various ranked fighters good money.
Yeah.
And they either not got back to us at all, because obviously they don't want to get into dialogue with us, or they price themselves out of it completely. But on this occasion, that hasn't even happened. They've either been not responding or saying how much you're offering. We've offered them a price, and they've just gone, no, thank you.
Okay.
So it's quite clear to see. They haven't said, no, thank you, give me this much. They've looked up and said, oh, no, thanks. So they're just pricing themselves out of it. But I can understand in one respect, because we've got a 20-year-old here who's ranked 59, and that's not really a fair thing to him, because really he should be ranked a lot higher. Yeah. But what they're looking at, they're in the top 10, top 15, and they're fighting a guy number 59 that can actually fight. So what's in it for them is one payday and they're finished. Yeah, because he's highly capable of beating these guys in the top 10 already. So it's very hard to match him up. But look, we've got Arias on short notice, and let me tell you, I've been offered certain fights. Been offered guys with 10-2 records, 12-3, all decent kids, but ain't going to send him anywhere. Yeah. So I've turned all these down. It's not for the sake of getting him opponents, because I've turned all these up. I don't want mediocre fighters. They train too hard. We're in camps, and this is what we do for a living. Yeah. So I don't want my son boxing a pile of shit to get on the telly just to build his own up. He needs to learn how to fight. So this is why I'm happy with Arias on a last-minute notice, because at least the guy's tough. He comes, and he's got to be focused 100% for the full 10 rounds, because if he's not, he can find himself on the floor.
Yeah, well, Arias, he's a tough old guy, isn't he? He's I think something like this is probably more beneficial to him rather than sort of, you mentioned there, like a 10-2 guy, something like that. That's not really. It sounds like they've got less experience than Hughie. Do you know what I mean? That's
right. Well, they offered us a guy from Canada. He's a Canadian #1 champion, but he's 10-2. And I looked at it and I thought to myself, well, what am I interested in a Canadian championship for?
Yeah, good point.
You know, what is that, 10-2? You know, look, I'm after guys who can give you a run. who's going to learn him in the future. He's a very young heavyweight, and I'm picking fights where he's going to beat up the rounds. Look, I'm not looking for Hughie, opponents for Hughie, so as he can look brilliant in front of the crowd. So it's all false economy. Because look, if I put a fat idiot in there, a lot of these people that don't know boxing, it cripples them in a round or two. They're going to look up and say, "Oh, fantastic."
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So
yeah.
who are we really kidding who here? So basically, he's 20. Let him learn the hard way. Like I said, he's only had one fight in my eyes. Stepped up, fought Wladimir. He was a decent fighter. The rest of them was all journeyman learning stuff.
Yeah.
But Wladimir was a decent fighter that he was going to get the rounds out of. This guy's the same. I don't see him bowling this guy over whatsoever. He's been in with some heavy punches.
Yeah.
He's gone the full distance. He's only stopped very early on in his career. Never been stopped for years. He's active. He's in shape, Arias, and comes to fight. He's not like your typical 41-year-old.
Is that a big thing for you when you're looking for an opponent for Hughie? Their physical shape, because we get a lot of people that I talk to a lot of lower level fighters as well, fighting for masters titles and things like that, and they tell me all the time they get a call off a big promoter about 10 days before the fight's going to start when they know they're not physically ready. It's almost setting them up to get knocked out. That's what it sounds like to me. You're not taking that route.
No, this can happen, and we're not doing that at all. You get out of me, it's the truth. If my son's going to a good fighter on a world level, he's got to start stepping in with people. Ideally, I wanted a 6'5", 6'6" opponent.
Okay.
Arias is the same size as Wladimir, so really I want to just get him used to. Although he's sparring with tall fighters regular, and we've had tall sparring in this camp, still rather than fight tall fighters as well. So the next fight after this, hopefully, we'll get somebody tall.
Yeah, okay, mate. Okay, well, it must be hard to match him because what's he, 20? He's still only 20. He's been 20 for, seems like his whole career. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean, though? It really does. It shows how much, influence he's made since he turned 18. It's so hard to match him because he's very, very talented and he's been on TV quite a lot before. So, if you're going to meet Hughie Fury, there's a good chance you're going to end your career maybe with the sort of guys you're talking about. But the main thing is,
it's like anything else.
Yeah.
He's a dedicated young athlete. He put his heart and soul into it. He's still got a lot of progression to do. Sometimes he'll come in the gym and he'll fire on all cylinders, and the next thing he'll come in the next 2 days and he can spar absolutely garbage.
Yeah.
So he's up and down like a yo-yo. But the main thing is, he gets it right on the night, so that's what matters. But look, It's all learning for him, and he's stepping in with decent fighters. He's not stepping in with idiots. So, look, let me just look at, what's his name, Arias.
Yeah.
I see Arias as a limited fighter.
Yeah.
He's got no suave about him. He's got no real boxing skill. He's just a tough, come forward, plodder in your face.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's dangerous, and he will try and walk you down. And he'll be looking at you, the 20-year-old, and thinking, I'll just get to this kid.
Yeah.
But these are the type of fights that, he's got to come through with flying colours if he's going to be what we believe he can be.
Yeah.
Arias shouldn't really be a problem for him.
Yeah, okay. So, one thing I was talking about on my show the other day, I was mainly talking about yourself and Tyson. And I was talking about you guys seem to have great mental strength. Nothing ever seems to really bother you either way, especially when you've had fights fall out and you've still managed to come back. How does Hughie compare to Tyson? Because they're both very different. They both come across very, very confident, and they're both quite different in the way they fight. Do they almost sort of learn off each other? Because they fight. To me, it looks like they fight. They have a very different style. Hughie almost looks like has shades of Vitaly Klitschko about him sometimes. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of that. Like what's sort of their inspiration, if you know what I mean.
But they've got totally different styles altogether. They're totally different personalities. They're just totally separate.
Yeah.
They're nothing like. The only thing they got is, they're both tall. that's a similarity then.
Yeah.
Tyson is, how can you say, he's very unorthodox. You don't know what's next.
Yeah.
He's very elusive. He's here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
He's more, he's more of a conventional boxer, I suppose.
Yeah, he's got a bit more of a rhythm about him, I would say.
But, look, they're both two totally different people. Yeah. And, Hughie, at this stage in his career, Hughie's doing marvellously well. Because when you look at all the 20-year-olds, let's look at Tyson when he first started.
Yeah.
He had his first pro fight, I think, at 20.
That's a good point.
It just gives you an idea where Hughie's at. He's trying to fight people in the top 10 in the world already, and he's 20.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, it's remarkable how well he's done, and it's very exciting. Now he's back, and now he's fighting again. It's brilliant. So you must be over the moon with that, because last year seemed like in every which way. Last year seemed like a really hard year. Do you know what I mean?
It was a lot of problems with the health, sorting out what was the matter with him and all this. And we got to the bottom of that with the food allergies and everything else.
Yeah.
And, we move on with it. But Hughie will keep fighting decent people. So he's gonna fight. There's no more mugs getting in the ring with him. Yeah. Like I said, he'll fight decent guys, providing we can get them, that is. And he'll just learn his job, and the reins are going to be kept on him. There's no title, there's nothing. Like I said, I'm not really interested in that with him. He's just going to fight good people, just get paid normally, and away he goes and learn his job properly. And I think we'll have to have a look at his development maybe when he's 22, 23, 24, 25. We don't know. But like I said, when I can see the full potential in him when he's firing properly, then we'll put him in there. But in the meantime, I'm hoping for him to have another at least 10 fights with quality opposition.
Yeah.
Now, I know on the Klitschko Tyson Billy's on the undercard.
Oh, cool.
People's mentioned to me the likes of Brown. If Brown don't get his fight, of course we'll take that for Hughie.
Yeah.
If they get in touch with us. If it doesn't work for Big Daddy Brown, Hughie will box in, no problem at all. Who else? Basically anyone, really.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't really matter.
Excellent. Brilliant. It was good to hear. Very good to hear. And not to leave the other heavyweight you've got with the name Fury in your stable. I see Young Fury is on the same bill as Hughie. Is that correct?
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see an opponent he's keeping quite busy, Young Fury, by the looks of things. He's
keeping quite busy. He's taking baby steps. He's only just turned 19. Like I said, he's not had much experience at all.
Yeah.
And with a lot of these young heavyweights, a lot of it's mental.
Yeah.
So he's got to grow mentally. I'm not saying much about him because he's just got to learn his job. Now I think for him to get anywhere near where Hughie is, even where Hughie is, he needs to have 20 odd pro fights.
Yeah.
So where Hughie is now, because he's playing catch up. Let's face it, both Hughie and Tyson are decorated amateurs, aren't they? They've been at it since they was like 6-7 years of age. This young lad here, young Fury, he's only just stepped into it. He's had no amateur experience, and he's had 5 pro fights. So I'm just gonna keep getting him stiff, basically, and letting him learn his job and grow up in the ring. Yeah. So he's not going to be fighting anybody credible for the near future.
Okay, well, fair enough. Well, brilliant. Well, excellent. Well, it's all systems go with Team Fury at the moment, by the sounds of things, which is very exciting. And I'd just like to thank you so much for your time. I know you are really busy. You've been very nice to give me a good 20 minutes. And all the best.
Yeah, listen, it's, you know what, this time of night when I'm finished, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Because I got time to speak and I got time to think. Yeah, it's hard doing the interviews when you rush because you're trying to get it on and off the phone as quick as possible. It's not fair. It's not fair to yourself and the fans because they want to hear what's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
So, listen. It's a pleasure anyway, this is what we're here for, boxing.
Yeah, well, to be honest, Peter, every time I've contacted you, you've always said yes, and I know you do the same with everyone else out there, so a big thanks to you for that.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna finish on this note with you, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I really love to do.
Yeah.
And this is what drives me and gives me burning energy inside to prove every idiot out there totally wrong when Tyson's hand gets lifted up. Now, that challenge for me gives me that burning desire not to fail.
Okay.
Because when I look at how a lot of these see it, and even the boxing experts don't give him a prayer. You know, I've listened to it all, and I just can't wait. So these type of things, I'm very grateful for these negative responses because it's put the right charge where it needs to be.
Yeah,
it's given me that mental focus, and so it is Tyson as well to get the job done because it's a very serious fight.
Oh.
Klitschko's a very serious operator, and he's the best fighter in the world. So I'm over the moon. It couldn't be better for me.
Excellent. I can hear the excitement in your voice. Well, all the best leading up to the fight, mate. Very nice to talk to you again.
Good man.
And I'm sure I'll catch up with you very soon.
And you, Adam.
You take care.
All the best, mate.
Cheers, mate.
And you. Bye-bye. Bye.